This integrated audio-video control professional course covers KeyDigital's Enterprise AV over IP system. AV over IP is hugely popular at this moment in time in the AV industry. People are often using video over IP systems when they desire an expandable system in which you could easily add an input or an output or multiple ins or outs to your system. When they have a non-symmetrical input-output, so this is very different from the world of traditional video matrices where you have 4x4, 8x8, 16x16, etc. You go with our Enterprise AV over IP if you have a severely non-symmetrical input-output configuration. Take a look at this system design example where we have 42 displays on the top of the design and only 4 sources. Would be a prime example for using Enterprise AV over IP. And because it is so flexible, every video source just requires one encoder, every video display requires one decoder, you're not only able to build matrixing systems with Enterprise AV over IP, you can build distribution amplifiers with a single source and multiple displays. You could build switchers with multiple sources and a single display, matrixing of course, and you're able to go extremely long distances, enabling building campus-wide integration, networking, truly networking of the video switching distribution system, video routing. Over a single cat wire, single network wire, we do recommend Cat 6 in the case of our IP922 product. You could go up to 100 meters in to the network switch and 100 meters out, so those are some very good distances. And you're going to be able to send not only the video signal, but so much more. So again, this is something to consider for large venues, full buildings, full enterprise grade network routing of the video system. You could use it for digital signage. You could use it in applications where you will need keyboard, video, and mouse when it comes to our 4K product as is pictured here. You could use it for bar and restaurant applications. And when designing Enterprise AV into your video system, your considerations would be your max resolution, as we do have 2 flavors, 1080p and 4K. How will you be handling your audio? What will be your control system? Or how will you control the video routing? And if there will be control to the peripheral devices? Do you require a video wall? And ensuring that you are designing your system with one of our verified network switches, which we will cover here shortly. So we're going to begin with the Enterprise AV over IP 4K UHD system, a system which is comprised of 2 models, KD IP922 encoder, ENC, and KD IP922 decoder, DEC. Completely custom input-output system building here. Every video source just gets an encoder, and every video display gets one decoder. The system supports video wall processing. It's already built into the decoder. No need for external products or additional accessories. Because this is video over IP, we are looking at compression of the signal. You compare that to a traditional HDMI HD-based matrixing, which is uncompressed. The 4K IP922 system uses Motion JPEG 2000 compression, which is very, very minimal, and that's how we're able to support 4K resolutions. But as such, you get a very minimal lag time, only 1 frame out of 60, so it's hardly negligible, and hardly noticeable, negligible, if you will. And we do have ways for making sure that the audio is in sync with the video, which we'll cover. They have power connectors, 12 volt, 1 amp, but they also support PoE. So just be a 12 watt power consumption. audio de-embedding with a full assortment of DSP features. There are 3 I/O control ports for interfacing from third-party control systems or for utilizing as part of our Compass control system. This system supports 4K up to 10.2 gigabits per second, and you can really cover some considerable grounds with this, up to 100 meters in and out of the network switch at all resolutions. Because it is 4K supporting, you'll need HDCP 2.2 for a lot of those sources. Not a problem here. You can control it by the KeyDigital app, which can really do some amazing things for you. And we know the benefit of the KeyDigital app is a scan and detect and off you go. And you have USB configuration for your units, which we'll cover how that looks. Let's look at some of that connectivity, because as we look here at front and rear, we see these units certainly are loaded. On the encoder, there's an HDMI input and an HDMI pass-through, so consider that for some of your presentation options and systems. On the decoder, there is an HDMI output and a local HDMI input, so your output can either be the video over IP selected source, or it could be the local HDMI input for a localized presentation versus a global distribution, if you will. Now that local source is not able to be fed into the video over IP system through this, though. It is just a localized 2x1 switching on the decoder. Both the encoder and the decoder have audio de-embedding, analog audio connectors, 6-pin analog, balanced, unbalanced. And on those connectors, both on the encoder and the decoder, very nice integration tool for your systems. You have volume control, muting control, delay, so that's the perfect way to ensure video and audio are in sync as you go through the network here. We can compensate for delay up to 150 milliseconds. There's a 3-band EQ and a left-right balance control as well. So it's all of the necessary preamp features so that you are able to just simply feed that audio output into an amplifier, a power amp, or an amp like our Amp 220, which we've covered in previous videos here. So you can get some in-ceiling speakers, sound enforcement. You could, of course, with the amplifier Amp 220, if that has a mic input, so you could get a mix of the two. So it's really all about surrounding the components with other KeyDigital components to make very effective systems, as we're teaching you to do. The IP922 encoder has a USB-B port, and the decoder has has 2 USB-A connectors. So it supports USB 2.0 specification, so you could use this for data transfer or even USB cameras, continuous or non-continuous data. You can connect it to a USB hub to have a maximum of 15 endpoint devices. And you could also use the USB connectors for KVM applications, as we have designed here, where we have a network operations center or emergency operations center. We have 6 PC sources, which have the USB-B connection into their PC computers. You have 3 operator stations, where each operator is able to view a source, but also through keyboard and mouse control can manipulate data or content in any of those 6 sources, encoders. Now the USB will always follow the selected video routing. If you need a totally independent USB for KVM or other, you'll have to add a decoder to your system. And we see here in this operations center that they have large video wall for viewing. As I mentioned, that is totally built into each IP922 DEC. The video wall processing feature. You just need one decoder per display. You can build a video wall that is up to 10 panels high and 10 panels wide. We do support screen rotation, 0, 180, and 270 degrees. And we even support the assignment of main and sub video walls so that you can break a main video wall, 6x4 in this case, into multiple sub video walls if you wish. That's all easily done through the KeyDigital wizard, where you add a video wall, you provide an ID number for that video wall in case there are multiple throughout your job site. You tell the software how many displays there are vertically and horizontally. In the case here, we've built a 3x2 video wall, 3 horizontal, 2 high, and there's a sub video wall that is 2x2. And the position of each display, meaning it's just like reading a book, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 it is. It's not 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, etc. Very, very easy. And for the bezel adjustment, I find this to be the most brilliant feature. You just tell us the horizontal and vertical measurements in centimeters of the screen and of the display, including the frame, and the horizontal and vertical measurements in centimeters of the screen only. You apply, and we apply that bezel adjustment across all of the displays, in addition to manual minor adjustments you could do with the screen positioning. So we look here at this example. If this is our one video wall in the system, this is ID 1. There's 6 horizontal displays, 4 vertical displays, and each display would just have a ID assignment 1 through 24. And then as we assign each display's sub-video wall settings, if that is something you need, they would be 2x2 in the case of these blue and purple subsections, 2x2, and the ID would be 1 through 4. Makes it very easy to control using the KeyDigital app or compass control. You could just drag your finger in fact, drag your finger to control the video wall. Another feature, dual LAN ports that support 10 and 100 base T networks. You can use the dual LAN ports for network pass-through to send network connectivity to connected devices, perhaps to your monitors to get IP control or smart features at the monitors, or perhaps you have a PC encoder source that needs network connection. You only have a single wire there. You could pass it through. Or you can use these dual LAN ports to build large video over IP systems with 2 network switches instead of just 1. You're able to stick with reasonably priced network switches, whereas typically if you go beyond 48 or 52 port network switch, you really have to get into some very expensive network switches, 100 base T network switch for example, or excuse me, 100 gig network switches. Whereas our system affords you the ability to plug LAN 1 into network switch 1 and LAN port 2 into network switch 2, and now you can build a 96 port system. In this scenario, we have 4 sources and 4 ports on each network switch is now utilized, which means you have a remaining 88 ports available for decoders, up to 88 displays in this specific system. You essentially just multiply your encoders times 2 and subtract that from the number of ports that you have available there to build systems this way. But it certainly is a big advantage, as 100 gig network switches are not cheap. This allows you to stick within a 1 gig network switch to build this system. And you have the 3 multifunction I/O ports that have 4 different usage mode possibilities. third-party control gateway, so any control system can plug into us. All they need is a single port on a single IP922 unit, and they can control the video routing or any of the features. You have the ability to use these three as compass control master control ports. Or we also have our key code open API, so that these ports can be an extension of, an expansion to your third-party control system if it supports advanced communications like that. Or you could just use this to build control over IP extensions or connecting blocks. So one of the most common uses is to use any third-party control system and plug in via IR, RS-232, or TCP/IP into the IO or IP ports. All they need is a single port. You don't have to cascade this. You don't need one port, one connection from the control system per IP922. It'd just be a single control feed in from your control system, and the KD IP922 knows about the entire system, because we will build a virtual matrix file, as we'll show you in a moment. So the IP922 takes a single command and will forward it throughout the entire system, and the appropriate devices will react to those commands, making it very, very efficient. But truly, nothing is more efficient than using the three multifunction I/O ports as compass control master controllers. The control ports can be IR in, IR out, RS-232, or voltage triggering. And if we look at this design here, where we have 8 satellites, a cable box, music streamer, security panel, lighting control, thermostat, projectors, 14 displays, and the motorized screen for the projector, you might be building the system with KeyDigital IP922s already. Take advantage of the compass control built inside, adding value to our system, truly maximizing the power of working with a company like KeyDigital, where we have video and hardware all from the same team, all under one roof. Nothing will make your proposal to your client more competitive than maximizing that by investing in learning our compass control system. There's EDID control, allowing you to choose the handshake that you'd like to provide your video source to tell it what resolution to output, so it could be distributed throughout your video system. However, there's an additional brilliant feature that is unlike traditional HDMI HD-based T matrices. Each IP922, because they are video processors inside, which would be needed for the video wall feature, for example, each IP922 has the ability to choose the output resolution. You can downscale an incoming 4K resolution to become 1080p, for example, making all of the displays in your system able to view any source at any time and in any combination, truly for the first time since the introduction of 4K. Very, very cool feature, very, very powerful. Now we move on to the Enterprise AV 1080p system, KD IP 1080TX and KD IP 1080RX. These are extremely simplified products designed to meet the price point required for large bar restaurant jobs and digital signage distribution, but still giving you all the flexibility of video over IP. 5 volt 2 amp means 10 watts power consumption for PoE with redundant power connectors. This system utilizes H.264 compression, which makes it extremely minimal, 15 megabytes per second per video source. Now, because it is a little more highly compressed with H.264 format than the Motion JPEG 2000 systems out there, you do experience a little more delay. You experience about 0.4 of a second lag time with this, which is something that you'll want to consider when designing your systems if you need to ensure that video and audio are in sync. You'll talk to KeyDigital system design representatives to go over all the options to ensuring you're able to have lip sync for that, the video and audio to be together. Also though, because it is such a minimal bandwidth, you can actually go 130 meters or 400 feet in and another 400 feet, 130 meters out of the network switch, making for huge capabilities of very large systems. Now there are no control ports on this product, so you will install it with our KD CX800 control interface. This product is part of the Enterprise AV system family, but also part of our master controller lineup for the Compass Control family of products. But it's really amazing how it just allows you to come in from any third-party control system, IR, RS-232, or TCP/IP, and it is the storage point for your virtual matrix file, so that one point of communication from Compass Control, AMX, Crestron, Control4, Elan, RTI, Savant, URC, and more just needs one connection in, and it will forward all of the commands throughout the network for the system. And this, as do all of our video matrices, just utilizes the same KeyDigital matrix switching command protocol that we've used for the past 10 years now, SPO XX SI YY, where output XX selects input YY. Chances are, if you've got an analog or first-gen HDMI matrix switch from KeyDigital installed on a job site, you could upgrade to Enterprise AV over IP, 1080p or 4K, and you wouldn't even have to upgrade the programming of your control system with that. Now, what makes this so flexible and what makes this so friendly to integrators is the network switching backbone. Makes it fully customized, like it's going to fit like a glove to every one of your applications, just by one encoder per source, one decoder per display, and you use a network switch from one of our Enterprise AV technology partners, as you see the brands here. Now, it's not every product from these brands though. The network switch must support Internet Grouping Management Protocol. We have a full list of verified network switches on our website. You just go to any product page for any IP Enterprise AV over IP product, the 922s, the 1080s, and you'll see here in the downloads section the verified network switches guide, where you will choose your network switch. You'll see all of the models there, and you'll have setup instructions on how to configure that network switch. Generally speaking, it's about 7 or 8 pages, mostly pictures. And this is going to get all of you audio-visual guys very, very comfortable, because you will be educated on how to configure network switches for IGMP. What you do, you have all these individual boxes. You will use the KeyDigital wizard. And if you're using the 922, you could connect via USB. If you're using the 1080, you will make a 2-device network directly to the unit. And you will scan, you'll connect, or you'll configure units one by one, setting the friendly name of each unit, setting the IP address of each unit. One by one, you will configure them, put a label on each unit until you have all of your units configured. You will connect them all to your network. You will scan your network and you will find all of the devices. Then you will build a virtual matrix system using the KeyDigital wizard. And this is what will create the input-output assignment numbers for each unit so that you can control it over a third-party system. You build that switcher file, you load that switcher file either into the CX800 or an MC1000 if you're using the IP1080s, or with the 4K IP922, it loads into each and every unit one by one, but you just press a single button to do that. And you could even control the system from a PC using the KeyDigital wizard, which is the same software you've used to configure the system, so that's for professionals only, or using our mission control software, which is end user friendly because it doesn't allow the end user the ability to configure any units or configure any systems. Instead, it's only giving a control interface that looks exactly like the control interface on the KeyDigital app, where you will see those friendly names. You can create presets for the system. You can switch the video routing, and you can even do a video preview of each source and display. Now, the video preview for the KDIP1080 does require a specific Wi-Fi router, since you're going over an iPad here, a specific Wi-Fi router, which is provided the model number in the Verified Network Switches Guide. But with the IP1080s, it is a full motion video decoder into the app, or with the IP922s, it is a one refresh. It is a thumbnail, an image that is refreshed every 1 second to give you an idea of what each video source is outputting the content-wise and what each video display is viewing. And we thank you for viewing this integrated audio video control professional level 1 course.